What's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be my entire DVD, Blu-ray, and VHS Last Year 2023 edition, and I didn't really want to do this, to be honest, but it got a lot of views last year, so I was like, and I know I'm going to be taking a little, not little, a big break from YouTube with, starting out a new school recently, so I was like, you know what, might as well, do something that's going to get a lot of views for one of my last videos, so. And I was supposed to go to Great Adventure last night, but there was a lot of storms in the area, and I ended up canceling. So, yeah, not back there for a little while, unfortunately, but yeah, shit happens. Anyway, let's just get to this. I have this all in upright order, which is a big pain in the ass to do, but I did it nonetheless. So, Aladdin, this is from, I believe it was from 1992, but this DVD is from 2004, and I did not have any copy of this in my collection until just recently, which is kind of odd to me. But yeah, I got this 2 weeks ago at a music store, believe it or not. And this edition Platinum edition went in the vault in 2008 or 9. I don't remember which exactly. I know it was pre-2010 though. Now, still, the point is, it went in the vault that long ago. I was still able to find it in 2023, and I got it used. It was still pretty good condition, actually. Yeah, it doesn't have like the DVD guide or anything like special like that, but yeah, I'd say second favorite Disney film of that era. Amazing Spider-Man 1. It's not unwatchable. It's not great. It's definitely very flawed. Andrew Garfield, I never thought was a terrible Spider-Man. Definitely not a good Peter Parker, though, but I think Andrew Garfield's better in No Way Home than he is in either of these movies. But, yeah, the first one, it's bearable, but it's not very good. It's definitely a flawed movie. Amazing Spider-Man 2, however, is absolute shit. Yeah, definitely crammed way too many villains and a lot of ridiculous ones at that. Yeah, absolutely despise Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't think it's the worst Marvel film Sony's put out. That was Morbius, which was absolutely one of the worst movies of all fucking time. But yeah, I don't think Amazing Spider-Man 2 is very good either. Aquaman from 2018. Yeah, it was late 2018. I didn't see it in theater until 2019. It's cheesy fun. One of the better DCUs. Not a great movie, but one of the better DCUs, definitely. The movie is no higher than like a 6 out of 10, maybe even like a 5.9, if being really honest. Avatar, the complete series, didn't appreciate it too much when I was like a really little kid seeing it on Nickelodeon, because I was only about 5 years old when this came out. And then I watched it more in 2021 when it got on Netflix, and I became addicted to it. And yeah, here we are. I own the whole series. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite cartoons of all time. As as a Nicktoon, I don't know if I like this or the old SpongeBob seasons better, but right up there is one of my favorite cartoons of all time. Don't own the live-action Night Shyamalan movie. I don't think I ever will. I consider one of the worst movies of all time, and I doubt I'm alone on that one. There's one. I own 2 copies because I was a big collector at the time. Not so much anymore. As long as I have a copy of the movie, I don't care if it's Blu-ray or DVD or hell, even VHS. I don't even have a working VHS player anymore. Yeah, the first Avengers has definitely fallen off a little bit. Still great fun, but it's fallen off the map a little bit in the MCU department. Avengers Age of Ultron was a very big letdown. Didn't hate it. I didn't love it either, but had its enjoyable moments. The trailer just made it look so much better than it actually was, but yeah. Definitely, of the 4 Avengers films, that's definitely the weakest. Which I think is a common opinion. Avengers Infinity War, one of the best, probably the best theater experience I've had. Or one of them, definitely. Yeah, absolutely epic. I'd say a top 3 MCU. Yeah, just a flawless movie. I think it's better than Endgame. Endgame, speaking of which, I think it's a little on the overrated side. I like Infinity War more, but still really great. And the 3 hours actually did go by pretty quick, surprisingly. But one really big downside with Endgame, I was 2 months late to seeing it because of a knee injury that happened to me just about 5 days before it came out, which was a really big bummer. And that pretty much meant the memes spoiled it, which was a really big shame. But obviously, that was not in my control whatsoever. But yeah, that definitely did kind of ruin Endgame for me the first time. The Batman movie from 1966. This is Adam West Batman, obviously. Yeah, you don't take this one seriously. If you take it seriously, it's trash. But if you don't take it seriously, it's fun, I'd say. Batman 4 film collection. These two are the only ones worth owning. Batman Forever is very polarizing. I don't think it's particularly good. And Batman and Robin, I don't really think. Bat Nipples, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze. I don't think any discussion. Inflatable Bane, I don't think any discussion is really needed for that one. Poison Ivy looks like kindergartner, yeah. These two are garbage. These two are great. Don't know which I like more. But yeah. In Batman Forever, I think it could have been decent had Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones' roles have been reversed, but it holds pretty garbage. And Batman and Robin, one of the funniest movies of all time, but I consider it, definitely a top 10 worst movies of all time. I would say like top 30, probably. But like, would it be like a top 10 for that? No, it's too funny for that. Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I didn't think this was as great as people say it is. Still really enjoyed this though. Like, as far as like animated superhero movies are concerned, I definitely think Spider-Verse good. It's actually based off of the Batman the Animated Series, I think. I could be wrong on that, but I think it is. The Dark Knight trilogy, one of my favorite movie trilogies of all time. It's right up there, original Star Wars trilogy. We love all of these. This one's obviously the best. But Dark Knight Rises, I can see people don't like it. I would say it's flawed, but I still really enjoy it. And Batman Begins is pretty great too. But yeah, Heath Ledger's Joker is one of the best roles in a movie. And the Dark Knight Returns Deluxe Edition. This is from 2012. It's 2.5 hours long, which was a little long for an animated superhero movie, but really enjoyable. So it wants to be honest. The Batman from 2022 with Robert Pattinson. Pattinson's Batman was the single best performance of Batman, I think. I wasn't sure what I was gonna think of their dark approach to Riddler, but I thought he knocked it out of the park with that. Yeah, I was really surprised with this. Went in with middle of the road expectations, but this blew me away. Batman vs Superman. Garbage. Definitely worse than Man of Steel. I don't think it's as bad as Suicide Squad. I don't think it's very good. It has some saving graces, definitely does. But on the whole, I think the movie is a mess. First Black Panther, I've grown to appreciate this significantly more. Would I call it a Best Picture nominee? No. Would I call it a top 5 MCU? No. But I would thought this was incredibly overrated the first time I saw it. Second time was much better. Definitely an epic MCU. There's some really great action in here. Yeah. And this edition is really cool too. It's actually different than the normal one, I think. Yeah. Wakanda Forever. I could see why some people were probably a little underwhelmed with this. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great tribute to Chadwick Boseman, and definitely, is it like, what I'd say it's in like the top 10 MCU, but it's definitely, one of the better ones they put out since Endgame for me. I thought it was better than Guardians 3. I, to be honest, was very underwhelmed with Guardians 3, but we'll get to that when they show off the OG Guardians films. Bolt. I haven't seen this in the... I don't think I saw this. I saw it in the theater, actually. Don't remember much of it. The Captain America trilogy. Civil War is the best of these by far. I think it's the best MCU. Yeah, it's my number one MCU. That movie is just flawless across the board. Winter Soldier is really great too. The first Captain America, it's fallen off a bit. I feel like it's decent, but compared to But obviously, it doesn't match these. And then that was the first Captain America movie they put out since that 1990 Captain America, which I'm going to talk about. Captain Marvel, I'd say it was underwhelming. I would say it's like maybe my 4th or 5th least favorite MCU. Yeah, Carl Danvers' character was pretty obnoxious, not gonna lie. The movie was very uninteresting. Yeah. I didn't think it was terrible, but I didn't think it was very good either. Cars, yeah, I had 2 copies of this one. Let's just not question that. I mean, this DVD I had when I was a kid, and then this one I got when I started becoming a big Blu-ray collector. Yeah, the first Cars, is it in Pixar's Blu-ray days? Absolutely not. But I think it's enjoyable. Well, it's definitely enjoyable compared to Cars 2, I'll say that much. But it's good for kids. I don't think the first one's terrible, it's just a little too long. Cars 2, on the other hand, is absolute shit. Yeah, this is the worst Pixar film, we all know it. This one's absolutely terrible. I don't think any more discussion is needed for that. Cat in the Hat. Yeah. One of the most ridiculous movies I've ever watched. Mike Myers in that cat suit has always been just nightmare-inducing. Dirty Ho. Yeah. One of the most ridiculous jokes I've heard in any movie, and it's not even funny. Yeah. I would definitely say it has some entertaining moments, but yeah. I mean, it was a guilty pleasure for me at one point, not anymore. Now I think it's just fucking terrible. Yeah. It's Cat in the Hat. I don't think more or less you'd be set for that. Pun intended. Catwoman. Yeah, another one I only own for the collection, but absolutely terrible. I would say it's worse than Batman and Robin, probably worse than Superman 4. I don't think it's fantastic bad, but it's terrible. And you don't need me to tell you that. Chicken Little. Enjoyed it when I was 5. The toilet humor is just not hitting me like it did at that young age. Yeah, I think it's pretty terrible now, actually. Being honest. Chicken Run I've always found really underrated. Didn't appreciate, I don't want to say always found it underrated. I didn't appreciate too much at a young age. Upon watching it again, though, it's really hilarious and definitely, it's underappreciated. If they make a sequel, I'd actually be down to watch it. It feels weird to say. Courage the Cowardly Dog, the complete series. Definitely really dark for a kid's show, but definitely one of Cartoon Network's best. Definitely a classic. Didn't watch Cartoon Network as much in my childhood, but I have seen, you know, I've seen Courage in the past and all that, but yeah, no, and this is only $38 too for the complete series, which is, I've seen much worse than that. That's for sure. Daredevil, okay. There's a bit of a story with this one. Now, the FOE that I got this from, I first bought it and there was no shrink wrap. And then I paid for it and there was no discs inside there. So I essentially paid for it as a blank case, right? The exception of, like, you know, the front artwork. And then I came back and then I buy this one. It's a 2-disc thing with a DVD guide. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw any of those. And on top of that, a popcorn coupon that expired. I can see it. But expired in October of 2003. Give me a break. Yeah. Only list for a collection. I haven't actually watched it yet, which feels kind of weird to say, seeing I went through all of that just to buy it, but I'm sure it's terrible. Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 is definitely funnier, but Deadpool 1 is the superior movie of the two, but these are both fun movies for sure. We enjoy both of them, and I've never been the biggest X-Men fan compared to some people, but I always enjoy both Deadpool movies. Despicable Me, I own 2 copies of this, because again, I was a really big collector at one point. First one's great. I definitely think that the whole franchise is on the overrated side, though. Despicable Me 2, I barely remember anything of this. I don't think I saw the third one. I did see the first mini movie in theaters, and it was terrible. Didn't see the one from this year, but the first one was not very good. Doctor Strange 1. I definitely think it's solid, but I definitely don't think it's a perfect top 10 MCU. Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness. It was okay. It wasn't great. but definitely not one of the worst MCUs. Then number 2, I own this and not the first one, and I don't know why. Incredibles 1 and 2. I was definitely incredibly underwhelmed by Incredibles 2, no pun intended. I actually thought it was a really big disappointment. We waited 14 years just for that. Yeah. Actually, I realized my foot was a little bit off here, but it's fine. Yeah. First one still holds up great. Second one didn't hold up at all for me. But I think that's coming off someone that loves the first one so much. That second one was just didn't do it. Incredible Hulk, definitely one of the most forgettable MCUs. Not an amazing movie, but it's not awful either. I think it's definitely better than the snooze fest movie the 2003 one was, but it's still very flawed. Indiana Jones Complete DVD Movie Collection. This one does not have Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which is fine. That one's, kind of... People hate on it. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's awful either. It does have a bonus material thing, too. But it has the first 3. I managed to find this in the brother's room, actually. Last Crusade, Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the best of these by far. That's just a classic. And you don't need me to tell you that. These are pretty good, too. But they don't match Raiders of the Lost Ark. Definitely not. I taste that's actually pretty big. Inside Out. Definitely on the overrated side for me. The first time I saw it, I just don't think I appreciated too much because it was a young age. So at a young age, and the second time I saw it, I think I was having kind of a rough day, and I decided to just watch it, and it still wasn't that great to me. But, I'll give it another watch, maybe under more normal circumstances, and I'll maybe enjoy it, because this seems like something I'd enjoy, but it's, yeah, like, people say it's, like, one of Pixar's, like, best, and I don't think it is. But, Infinity and yeah, just ignore that background noise. The Iron Man trilogy. These two, in my opinion, get too much hate, but this is obviously the best one. And this is actually what started the MCU. And it still holds up great. Iron Man 2, I definitely don't think it's the worst MCU. I think Thor 2, Captain Marvel, Incredible Hulk are all much worse than... Even Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think, are all much worse movies than this. But, yeah, Mockingjay sequence is pretty entertaining, but the movie as a whole, I think it's solid, actually. Iron Man 3, in my opinion, is a little worse. I could definitely see the complaint of, too much Tony starting off Iron Man. It didn't turn it down, didn't ruin it too much for me, but, yeah. But Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3 definitely, Iron Man 2 especially, definitely gets too much hate, in my opinion. But is it like a top 10 still? Or it's absolutely not, but it gets too much hate. Iron Man Hulk Heroes United. Got in 2013, so I watched it, to be honest. Jimmy Neutron. This is the movie it was based off of, and then this is a DVD from the show. Haven't seen the movie in a long time, but the show was really underrated. Shame it only lasted 3 seasons. Yeah, that's a real shame. Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin gives a really good performance in this, but the movie as a whole is on the overrated side, but yeah, again, overrated doesn't mean bad. That just means that, like, obviously, mostly probably know what overrated means. That doesn't mean bad. Jungle Book, definitely not one of the better, Disney films of that era, but doesn't mean it's bad. I don't think I've seen it since I was a kid, though. Last time I saw it was probably on a VHS that I rented when I was, like, maybe 4, I'd guess. Zack Snyder's Justice League, I own the Joss Whedon one. That movie's a pile of shit. I never will. This one's better. I don't think it's a flawless 10 out of 10, though. I really don't. Like, it had a lot of similar flaws to the Joss Whedon one, but I would say it's just good. I wouldn't call it amazing. I would say it's just good. But, yeah, like, people are saying this is, like, flawless 10 out of 10. It is not, in my opinion. But, and 4 hours was a little long for me, but this is a 2-disc thing with 1/2 and 1 part, 1/2 in the year, which meant I didn't have to sit through 4 hours of this, but, or not in one sitting anyway, but, yeah. Doesn't mean, I think the Zack Snyder one's overrated. Which I know is not a popular opinion, but, again, it's an opinion. Justice League Doom. I was collecting the animated ones a lot at the time, not so much anymore. Only watched it once. I was maybe like 14 or so. And I don't remember much of it at all. Kong Skull Island. I don't know the original King Kong, but that should change eventually. Really enjoyed this though. Definitely really did. Okay, now the alphabetical order got a little messed up, but it's all good. So, 3 Ice Age movies now. Oh boy. This is the best of these by far, and it's an enjoyable kids movie at best. Meltdown was definitely a step in the wrong direction, but I wouldn't say it's an awful movie overall. Dawn of the Dinosaurs was a shit movie, and this was even worse. Don't own Collision Course, I don't think I ever will, but Continental Drift is garbage. Definitely, like, I didn't give 2 fucks with the Cures anymore by the time, like, the 3rd or 4th movie rolled around. And that's why I chose wisely not to see that 5th one. How to Train Your Dragon, the first one, definitely one of DreamWorks' best, but I still think it's on the overrated side. I find a lot of the DreamWorks ones overrated, to be honest, which I know is not popular, but that's my opinion. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is one of the ones more recently picked up for cheap. It's better than Cat in the Hat. It definitely is. It's not great, but it's better than that monstrosity, but I don't think that says too much. It definitely has its funny moments, has its very weird moments too, yeah. It's not great. Horton Hears a Who, definitely one of the better Dr. Seuss movies I've seen, definitely better than the live action Cat in the Hat and Grinch. But, yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time, but definitely one of the better Dr. Seuss ones. Gulliver's Travels, I don't remember any of this movie whatsoever, so no opinion really. Guardians 1 and Guardians 2, really enjoy both of these. Guardians 3 was really underwhelming. It just lacked the charm of these for me. But yeah, these 2 are great. Guardians 3, I was underwhelmed and a little let down. I'll probably pick it up eventually, but I'm just going to wait for the price to go down a bit. Because it wasn't as great as I was hoping it would be. But the MCU has been on a decline since Endgame, definitely. Green Lantern, terrible movie, hideous looking CGI suit, but got it cheap, so cheap one's a good one, I guess. Yeah, but the movie's terrible. Ghost Rider, now I bought this for my collection, haven't watched it yet, but what's really cool about this, I got it this year, and this comes in a Blockbuster case. Yeah, that's dope. Movie, I'm sure, is terrible, but Nick Cage is always a good time. I probably wound up picking up Spirit of Vengeance, eventually, whatever that second one's called, but I don't expect that to be very good either. Garfield the movie, it's terrible, but I haven't seen it in a very long time, to be honest. Frozen, I think it's incredibly overrated. Doesn't mean bad, just Disney's best film of that era? No, absolutely not. Finding Nemo, really big part of my childhood. Definitely emotional, and yeah, this is one of those flawless Pixar ones for me. I own a VHS of this too, but I'm gonna wait till the VHS is still the very end. I don't even have a working VHS player anymore, so yeah, can't really use them, unfortunately. First Fantastic Four movie. All Fantastic Four movies are shit. This is no exception. Yeah, absolutely terrible. Absolute failure of a film. Presto Server is a little better, but that doesn't mean good. In the 2015 one, we don't talk about that. E.T. definitely a big, classic of Steven Spielberg's. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah. I wouldn't say a big part of my childhood per se, but definitely a classic. Definitely one I definitely enjoy watching her now and then. Yeah. And the Blu-ray was cheap too, so that's another win. Elf, one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. Super underrated, definitely underappreciated. Yeah, Will Ferrell's performance in this is great. And it's pretty hilarious at times, actually. Yeah, Elf definitely doesn't get enough attention, or positive attention anyway. Now into this pile, Kung Fu Panda. I've always found this on the overrated side. Doesn't mean bad, but it's, even at a young age, I don't think I enjoyed it as much as most probably did. Lego Batman the movie, DC Heroes Unite. I haven't seen this one since I was like 14. I think it's based off the video game, I think. Yeah, that sounds right. The Lego Batman movie. I wouldn't say it was as good as the Lego movie, but I really enjoyed this. It's definitely good for kids. The Lego movie, definitely better than expected. Didn't see part 2 yet, but really enjoyed this. It's really hilarious at times, actually. Lion King, for the longest time I owned the VHS. I got this in the same store that I got that copy of Aladdin from. It was a music store, believe it or not. This again went in the vault in like 2008, 2009, something like that. Could have even been earlier. But yeah, I managed to find it in 2023. What I used, it's actually in really great condition, actually. But yeah, this is my favorite Disney film of that era. I did see the live action one once. I rented it for my work, and it was absolutely utter shit. Yeah, don't own that. I don't think I ever will. That was just seeing seeing it sucked all the charm out of this pretty much. That was just insulting to me. Yeah, that live action was a joke. Logan, definitely the best X-Men movie, but I've never been a diehard X-Men fan. But this is pretty. This has always been great though. First Madagascar movie. Yeah, this has always been a fun one, but I enjoyed it more at a young age than now. For 3 Europe's Most Wanted, pretty much same thing. I don't even think I've seen the second one, to be honest. If I did, it was a long time ago, but I remember a thing about it. Man of Steel. I've always found the movie incredibly overrated, and I just, the Dark Approach Superman just didn't feel right to me. But yeah, this is one of the coolest things in my collection, though. I think it was only, a Target exclusive, but it has, a book attached to it, too. Yeah, this has always been cool, but, the soundtrack's pretty good, too, but I've never been a Man of Steel fan. I've tried watching on several different occasions. It's just always a drag to get through for me. Megamind, this kind of felt like an Incredibles ripoff, but I don't remember much of it. I only saw it once. I, again, got that when I was a really big collector. Game Mini, 10 classic shorts. I don't think I got this back in December. I don't think I watched it yet, but I definitely should. Yeah, I can imagine being cool seeing, Steamboat Willie on Blu-ray and all that. I actually got 2 copies. I got the big, ridiculous 3D pack, 5 discs in here, and the DVD from 2001. This film's another big part of my childhood. I still wouldn't say it's like Finding Nemo or Toy Story quite, but always enjoyed it. Monsters University wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. Just, it felt very unnecessary, but, obviously not to the extent of Cars 2 or anything like that. But it wasn't great. Monsters vs. Aliens. This is another one I haven't seen in a very long time, so really, no. Can't give much of an opinion there either. Jesus, already to the 20-minute mark. I'm gonna try to go nice and quick for the rest of these, if it's possible. Another one. Jaws, I found this in my brother's room again, but obviously, great film. Definitely very suspenseful. And, yeah, this is the only Jaws movie worth owning. The second one is okay, 3 is trash, and 4 is one of the worst movies of all time. That deserves that whopping 0% has Rotten Tomatoes for a reason, but this is great, though. And I don't think you need an expert to tell you that, which I'm not an expert, by the way, but, yeah. Muppets, this is a Disney one. I wouldn't say it's quite my favorite Muppet movie, but it's a good one for sure. But I should start a movie collection. I think that'd be fun. Maybe even try and buy the show from the 60s even. It's an idea. 3 of the Ninth Museum movies. Don't remember anything of these two. This one's really underrated. These were Secret of the Tomb and Battle of Smithsonian. Honestly, I don't remember much of these two at all. The first one I've always found underrated, though. I don't know if that would change now, but I'm enjoying it. Over the Hedge, this is really underrated. Just thought we had some funny moments. I actually watched this while quarantine was going on, just because I was super bored, and I really enjoyed it, actually. Definitely one of the more forgotten DreamWorks movies, one of the better ones, I feel. Peanuts movie, I remember seeing this in the theater. I haven't saw it since, but I've always loved the Peanuts, and, this was really great. But this is one of those that's great for kids and adults, I feel. Polar Express, haven't seen in a very long time, but I remember it's always being decent. But I need to give it another watch. It's been so long. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This had no business being as good as it was. I don't remember anything of the first one, but this one I loved a lot. Like, I had no plans on seeing it until the reviews were saying it was actually amazing. It took me a little bit to believe it, and then in March, I found this on Blu-ray for fairly cheap, actually, and that was the month it came out, which is really shocking. I found it at Barnes & Noble, but really loved this. It kind of reminded me of Spider-Verse, but which is shocking, but yeah, this is definitely not one to sleep on. This is a copy of Ratatouille that my friend's dad got me. This is one of those Pixar ones I haven't seen in a long time. I remember liking it, but I don't really remember. It's been a while since I've seen it for me to really form a full opinion. Rio, this is one I haven't seen since I saw it in the theater, so I don't really remember much of any of it. Robots, don't remember this. I haven't seen this since I was a little kid, so I don't really remember much of this at all. The live action Scooby-Doo's, both absolute garbage. This one has some moments where it's so bad it's kind of funny. This one is just straight up shit. Yeah. This one's absolutely awful. This one is not great either, but it has some funny moments. I actually had some fun with this now last time I watched it, but the movie's terrible. Don't get me wrong. Alien Invaders versus Zombie Island. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I don't remember if this was released in theaters or not. I want to say it wasn't, but yeah, it's been a very long time since I've seen either of these. But these look like the things that would just be like straight to TV or straight to video, straight to, whatever, one of them. First two Shreks, the only two that are worth owning. I think I have 3, but it's in my basement, I think. 3 is terrible. 4 was a little better, but it wasn't great, but these are the only 2 worth owning, and the Shrek 2 soundtrack is a killer. Definitely one of my favorite anime movie soundtracks. And, Shrek 1's is pretty good, too. Rest in peace to Steve Harwell, by the way. It was very sad news there, but, yeah. The opening song in Shrek definitely still holds up really well, and that was, that was definitely shocking news, a couple, days ago. That he passed, unfortunately. That Steve Harwell did, and the main frontman of the Smash Mouth. Simpsons movie, not as good or funny as the old scenes, but better than the new scenes. Are kind of garbage, but it's been a while since I've seen it. But that was pretty much what I remember. That was not as great as the old scenes, better than the new scenes for sure. Smurfs, liked it when I saw it at 11 years old, but now looking back, it's pretty garbage. Don't own the sequels. That's not gonna happen anytime soon, if ever. Speed Racer, I remember falling asleep in the theater actually when I saw this. Yeah. Nothing really special about it. And I fell asleep in the theater watching it at 8 years old. I don't really see why that'd be any different now. Soul, really, really enjoyed this. I think it's better Inside Out, actually. It's probably not a popular opinion, but I absolutely love this. This had really blew me away, actually. Spider-Man Henderson Trilogy on Blu-ray. First one, I don't think holds up quite as good, but I still really enjoy it. Spider-Man 2 is the best of these by far. Spider-Man 3, definitely not garbage, but the worst of these by far. But I think it's better than both of the Spider-Man movies, although Topher Grace has been undeniably bad. But yeah. Spider-Man Homecoming, definitely not the best MCU Spider-Man, but it's solid, I'd say. I know how to look at the rest of these to make sure it doesn't go super long. Far From Home definitely took it much better. and definitely one of the best post Endgame MCU movies for sure. Jake Jones, I really liked Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio and as Mysterio in that. Although Michael Keaton as Vulture was really good in Homecoming too. Don't get me wrong. No Way Home, little underwhelming my expectations. Doesn't mean it wasn't great, but my expectations were normally high and it didn't quite meet them. But it's still really great. People are saying it was like, a top 3 MCU. I didn't quite think that. There wasn't enough interactions with the old villains or the old Spider-Mans for me, but what it did have was pretty satisfying, though. So I think it's the best Spider-Man movie, though, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I haven't seen Across Spider-Verse yet, which is really sad, but I'm hoping that'll change soon. But, yeah, Spider-Verse is incredible. Flawless. I would say it's probably my top 3 favorite movies of all time, to tell you the truth. And that was one I expected nothing out of, but it blew me away. Seasons 1 and 2 of SpongeBob, a whole lot better than the new seasons, kind of garbage, but these are where it's at. Season 3 was pretty good too, though, but season 1 and season 2 had some really memorable ones in there for sure. Now, I have a lot of SpongeBob ones here, so I'm just going to go through them quickly. So these have some really great episodes on them, some kind of garbage episodes on them, but yeah, there you go. That's like 4 SpongeBob DVDs right there. And this one I had since I was a kid. And all grown up's terrible, but the rest of these, even Cat Scratch, are pretty underrated. Same with My Love's Teenage Robot. Yeah. This has some good stuff on it too. I own that since I was like maybe 6 or 7. The SpongeBob movie trilogy. This is the best of these by far. This one's awful. Yeah, people really love the second one. I did not. I thought it was garbage. I almost fell asleep watching this, actually. And this feels like a story they've done before. Not like I had a lot of the same dirty humor as the new scenes. Yeah. The second one was just awful, in my opinion. Third one, in my opinion, actually took it a lot better, which I know is a rare opinion, but yeah. This definitely felt like more of a complete SpongeBob movie to me than the second one. Okay, only 2 more piles and we're finally done. Star Wars now. We're on some good ones here. The original trilogy on Blu-ray. Episode 5 is the best, obviously. Although Episode 4 and 6 are pretty great too, but Episode 5 is one of my favorite movies of all time. That's a flawless 10 out of 10 across the board. Prequels. I think all these are pretty terrible. Episode 3 is the best by far, but wait, there's actually a bit of this case is actually pretty damaged. The movies aren't great anyways, that's fine. But Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, some moments where it's so stupid it's funny, and some moments where it's just fucking stupid for no reason. Yeah. Yeah, all the prequels pretty terrible. In Episode 3, I don't think it's very good, but it's the best by default. Force Awakens, didn't appreciate it that much first time I saw it. Second time was a lot better. I still think it's overrated, not as rewatchable, but I've grown to appreciate Force Awakens more over time. Rogue One, I really liked this kind of different take to it. I think Rogue One's definitely underrated. Last Jedi, polarizing. I thought it was not great, but better than Rise of Skywalker, which is absolute garbage. I do not have that one. I'll get it when I can find it for like $5, but that movie was just garbage. Suicide Squad. First one, entertaining mess the first time. Absolute mess the second time, yeah. This is just absolutely terrible. I mean, hence some scene graces like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, Will Smith is Deadshot, but the movie's awful. 2021 Suicide Squad. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard it's a lot better than the 2016 one. But again, the 2016 one was absolute shit. The extended cut did absolutely nothing for that, by the way. The Superman 5 film collection, I actually got this for Christmas last year. First 2 are great. 3 is 4 is absolute garbage. I don't even know why I own that one. Superman Returns, I actually think it's better than Man of Steel, but it's not great, but the first 2 are where it's at. The Super Mario Bros. Movie. I think critics were a little hard on this, to be honest. Like, I think their expectations were, like, abnormally high. Like, even heard them. I don't want to be honest. But, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really great for what it was. Is it, like, a groundbreaking film? No. But I think it was intending to just be an enjoyable kids movie, and well, that was what we got. I really enjoyed it. The Thor trilogy now. It's kind of out of order, but it's okay. I think Thor Ragnarok is the only one that's generally like, really great out of all these. The first Thor is okay. Thor: The Dark World is not very good. Definitely the most forgettable MCU. But yeah, Ragnarok has always been enjoyable though. Toy Story 1, I have 2 copies. This one's really a big part of my childhood. I don't think I really need to say any more or less for this one. Definitely a classic. Story 2, I have 2 copies also, because again, I was a really big collector at the time. And I got the 3. I wanted to get 3D pack for the first one, because I like that design so much more than the other one, but it was like $45. I mean, it was ridiculous. But yeah, for a while, I thought, you know, it was like, you know, pretty far from the first one, but after rewatching it, really, really great. Definitely, I'd say just as good, not better, probably definitely not better, but just as good for sure. Toy Story 3, definitely the most emotional Pixar films. Definitely, I don't know, I would say it's almost better than the first one. It's better than 2. And it's definitely better than 4. I'd say it's super close to better than the first one, but not quite. Toy Story 4, I thought it was pretty good. The weakest Toy Story film, but I knew it was gonna be. But I would say, I mean, I think this one definitely gets too much hate. Didn't feel necessary, but I didn't think it was bad. I'm not overly excited for Toy Story 5, but hey, they're gonna do whatever makes them money. Transformers, the first one, garbage. Whole franchise is garbage. I know Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, Extinction, or Last Night, or in the freaking Rise of Beast. Yeah, don't know any of those. I don't think I ever will. Age of Extinction was the worst of all those, but yeah, the whole franchise is terrible. We're almost done. Up, the most overrated Pixar film in my opinion, but doesn't mean it's not great. I just don't think it goes downhill after the first 10 minutes for me. National Lampoon's Vacation, really, really love this. Definitely really hilarious. Yeah, really a really great film. Definitely doesn't get enough attention. Venom, garbage. Don't Let There Be Carnage. I wouldn't say it's like a top 10 worst super movies of all time. Quite. I don't think it's very good. It's definitely a very inconsistent movie. Yeah. Not Amazing Spider-Man 2, but definitely not very good. I was definitely very disappointed with how those trailers made it look. For sure. WALL-E. Now, this is actually a fairly new edition, I think. I was wondering why it's so expensive at first until I saw that this has a lot of things in here, actually. It has like a whole book here. The camera's probably not catching it too good, but it is what it is. But yeah, this edition is really cool. I wanted to get WALL-E on Blu-ray for a long time, especially because I didn't like how the DVD was like a cardboard case. But super cool edition. But yeah, I think it's one of the coolest things in my collection, to be honest. And that's definitely one of the, I think WALL-E's definitely a top, I don't know, top 5 Pixar film for me quite, but I think it's better than Up, in my opinion. This Winnie the Pooh, I remember actually enjoying this, but it's on the short side. This is one of the ones released in theaters, I think. X-Men Days of Future Past and First Class. I don't own any of the original 3 X-Men. I might get 1 and 2 eventually. 3's garbage. Orange Wolverine's garbage. Don't plan on getting those. But these 2 are solid, but like I said, I've never been like a crazy X-Men fan. The Wolverine, I have 2 copies. This one was decent, but really forgettable. Wonder Woman, one of the better MCUs. Not a perfect movie, but 1984, I've heard it's garbage. Don't own that. May eventually, if I find it for cheap, but yeah, the first one was great. I wouldn't say great, but one of the better DCUs, without a doubt. But is it like a great movie? I don't think so. Wreck-It Ralph, this I have 2 copies. It's actually my first ever Blu-ray. Really like this, its design's really nice. Definitely my favorite Disney film of that era. I don't own Ralph Breaks the Internet. I don't think I will. That was just incredibly disappointing, and it was boring too. Yeah, did not think Ralph Breaks the Internet was very good at all. People are saying, "Oh, it's just good as the first one." Yeah, my ass. It's not even close. Yogi Bear. Liked this. I saw in theater as a dumb 11-year-old, but looking back, it's pretty terrible. The VHSs, and we're finally done. Actually, no, there's one more DVD. Also got Chris the Were Rabbit. This is a really underrated one. Definitely really enjoy it. Been a long time since I've seen it though. But I remember thinking it's super underrated. The VHSs. I don't have too many, but Jimmy Power Hour. It was a decent crossover. It wasn't great, but nothing harmful about it. Lincoln, this is the exact edition on DVD, just in VHS form. It's one of the first VHSs I actually owned that we didn't rent. Yeah, I explained my thoughts already. Down the Goofy, oh my god, Goofy, the Three Musketeers. Yeah, it's another. I watched that a couple times as a kid. Don't remember much. Finding Nemo. It's probably one of the most copies of my collection, but yeah, I explained my thoughts already there. Explained my thoughts already here too. First Spider-Man. I think I own Spider-Man 2 on VHS in my basement. First Mission Impossible. It's the only Mission Impossible I own, believe it or not. Definitely need to revisit it. Snoopy Come Home. Always loved Peanuts. I think I have other Peanuts VHS in my basement, but I don't have a working VHS store anymore, sadly. But yeah, always loved Peanuts. I don't think there will be a day I won't. So yeah, that's pretty much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video that was kind of tedious to do. So yeah, peace out.